Castles and Crusades. How to make a Castles and Crusades fighter in Fantasy Grounds. All right. Good morning, people, and welcome aboard. We have a trick here today. Didn't see any YouTube videos, so thought I'd throw one up. See what we can do here. So, in Castles and Crusades, just like any other rule set, you're going to go down to your library here in the lower right-hand corner. Make sure that you click on your modules. All we'll need for this for character creation is just the player handbook, which I already have loaded up here, and a couple other items. And those. Click on load. Close it out. And we got our player's handbook all set. We got all this nice stuff. What I have done for a little convenience to make this go faster is I've put some of these items down here in the quick bar, so that way we can just get on with it. Right, and I recommend clicking on the Create PC button right here. Focus down your sidebars. And what we'll need is the Characters button. And we'll go ahead and just throw in made for video. Last name. Now in Castles and Crusades here, you can roll up, go ahead and get our stats rolled up here. And that's going to be done on 3d6. You can go ahead and grab them down here, just throw 3d6. And that's a 9, but I've already got this hotbarred, so we're going to go ahead and bang out a few sets of stats here. There we go. We got our 6 stats, or 6 attributes. And since we're making a fighter, we'll go ahead and put that 14 right in strength here. That leaves us with 111, which we will toss into our charisma. There we go. All right, so we've got our attributes in here. And we can go ahead and select a race and class. Now, unlike other sets here, race and class are not drag and droppable on this character sheet. So, show you. It doesn't do anything. Gave me a little bit of frustration myself there. But I also know that there are a couple little tricks with it. So we can type in human so that we know we're human right there. Our class, we know we're going to be playing a fighter. All right, and we'll pull up our quick reference index, which is also available in the reference manual here. Library views references, but I got mine pulled down here. So it auto calculates when you drag and drop the values in, or you could just type it in straight in. Like here we go. We'll put this up to a 10 so you can see here. See? Auto calculate or auto figures the bonus set. There is no problem with that. Put that back to the 9. Taking in on this here, and through here. Ready? Done this. We are playing a fighter. So let's go to our abilities tab here, and this is where things get different with castles. So we know we are playing a human, and in our description here it tells us, that we get 3 primary attributes. Human. Now on this other tab here, all we need to do, you get a primary attribute. Can just drag and drop this in 3 times, so we know that we have 3 primary attributes. And we just select which ones we want. And as a fighter, we're going to do strength, dex, and con. Seem to make a fair amount of sense there. And let's go ahead and get into our class. So we're going to click our quick button, which we got here. We also have one library there. And since we're doing a fighter, we're going to go ahead and do this. We already know from the human that it won't drag and drop into that plain text field there. Just to show you. See? Won't do it. However, we know our fighter will get So here's something neat that you can do with the fighter class. Just drag and drop the class right into the abilities, and it gives us everything off this other tab, which would be at level 1, you get 1 weapon specialization. We don't need to declare an attribute for it. We are just going to note what weapon it's for. So we're going to put sword. All right, and your game master may have some decisions about what weapon specialization can be applied to what weapon, or if it's a group of weapons. It's going to be up to them. Main goal here is putting things into the sheet that we are going to need. So we know as a human our base movement is going to be 30, and that determines that. Our bonus to hit as a level 1 fighter is going to be 1. All right, and that has got us up to date thus far. You see it's taken into account the strength bonus there. We didn't have a dex bonus, so that's not going to add on at all. Right, so next bit we should probably do is if we go and look in the handbook, we will go ahead and sneak on in here. Equipment section, because it talks about where we get our starting coin. Fighters and Rangers get a 3d8 times 10, anywhere between 30 to 240 gold pieces. And we're just going to go ahead and roll this up. Grab these 3d8 and just right click on the mouse and look at that. We have 170 gold. So we can just go ahead and note that on our inventory. Equipment list, there we go. So I pulled that down to my hotbar here. And we've got weapons. Fighter, we're definitely going to want to start with a weapon. Probably some armor here. 170 gold. Figure, let's keep this quick and relatively simple. We're going to get some scale mail. It costs 50 gold pieces. So we'll subtract that out. But we're also going to take a bastard sword. And I'll show you why I chose a bastard sword in a bit here. Go. Oh, thanks for the cheer there, Fantasy Grounds College. All right, so next bit here we're going to do is we're going to go back to our ability, not our abilities tab, but our combat tab. First, so that was 50 and 25, I believe. Yep, so that's going to be 75 gold pieces. So that will put us at 95 left. Just for those people who want to keep track of the math on. All right, so it also calculates your encumbrance value. All right, so on our combat tab here, our bastard sword did drop in. And we see it's taking this attack bonus into account, but we've specialized with the bastard sword. So here's the trick that I discovered. Right here under attack, weapon specialization, Castles of Crusades gives you a +1 to hit, via our attack roll right there, but it also adds a +1 to damage. And as you see, it adds you in your ability bonus. So now that we've adjusted that, we've went up from a +1 or a +2 to a +3 here because of our weapon specialization. The other neat bit is the bastard sword can be used two-handed. Obviously, we don't have a two-handed version of the bastard sword already set up, but we can actually do that relatively quick here just by typing in sword, bastard, and 2H, so that way we know it's our two-hander. Now, we know as a two-handed sword, it's going to do a d12 of damage. So we can drop that in right there, get our magnifying glass. And we know that since we're specialized, we're going to go ahead and add that on in here. Once again, your game master, castle keeper in this case, may have a different policy about how to determine this. So they will always be the person you need to be concerned with about what they think is going to do what here. So go. We're going to stop editing that now. And the last bit here that we need to complete our fighter, at least functionally as a Fantasy Grounds character, is we're going to add our level. And I'll show you why. So in Castles and Crusades, there are no skills. You make saves, and the difficulty is based off of what the Castle Keeper determines based on primary and or secondary attributes. So back on this abilities tab here, remember how I stacked out 3 primary attributes? Well, as a human, I get 3 primary attributes. One will be taken up by the fighter class. So that's where I have to take strength for fighter. The other 2, I could choose just for being a human. If I were to play anything other than a human, I would only get 2 primary attributes. So we are going to go ahead and show you what happens with and why this all comes into play. Now, in the Siege engine, you add your level whenever you're making a save roll against your stats here. So it's essentially like a strength save, or dex save, or con save, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. So when I roll my strength save, you notice it should add a +1 down there in the chat box here. And see, we got our +1. But as a level 1 character, we would get to add our level. So watch this. Now we've got our +2 added in.